Thank you for stopping by Ballistic Barbecue. On this video, I'm going to be reverse engineering the famous McRib sandwich from McDonald's. Let's get going. So this is a video I've been planning on doing for quite some time now, and I was talking to my buddy Harry Sear over at Slap-Yo Daddy Barbecue, and I found out that he had the same idea. So rather than just uploading our videos on separate dates at separate times, we decided to make a collaboration and kind of let you guys see what both of us are thinking, how we go about doing these type of videos. I have not seen his video yet. He has not seen my video yet. I'll have a link for his up here and also down in the description box below. So check it out after you're done watching this. Let's make a McRib. So we're going to kick this off with, now first of all, again, we're not taking a rack of ribs and cooking it until the bones pull out. We're trying to come as close as possible to the real deal, to how Mickey D's is making it, but we're doing it at home. So the meat that they use is actually pork shoulder, and that's what I have here. Some pork shoulder that I cut up. Now, when I first started thinking about doing this video, I was guessing that they definitely used meat glue in this recipe, but the more research I did, the more I realized that they're not using meat glue. There's basically pork shoulder ground, dextrose, which is a powdered sweetener, and it's used a lot in like fermented sausages. Basically in a sausage, it's feeding the helpful bacteria while the cure is killing the harmful bacteria. There's rosemary extract, salt, and then some preservatives. I'm going to go with everything except for the preservatives. First thing I'm going to do is get this shoulder ground here. All right, let's start preparing the meat for the McRib. So the meat in the McRib sandwich contains pork, water, I don't know if I mentioned water before, salt, rosemary extract, and dextrose. So the first thing we're going to do is add the water and the rosemary extract, and here's what I did. I took some fresh rosemary and boiled it, about 2 cups of water, about 3 sprigs of rosemary, and I boiled it, basically making a tea out of it until the water reduced by half. And this is what I ended up with. Pretty cool. It smells like rosemary. And what I'm going to do is I'm using the spray bottle and I'm going to try to evenly coat this meat with this rosemary spray. I don't want to go too heavy with this stuff because I don't want the meat to be too loose, and also this stuff is strong. It definitely smells and tastes like rosemary. Now I'm going to go with this dextrose, this powdered dextrose, and I'm thinking the reason why they're adding this is to add a little sweetness, but I think also it's going to help kind of bind the meat together. Since they're not using meat glue, this stuff will help it become somewhat gummy. And I'm just eyeballing this, I'm not measuring. But for those of you who are interested, this is about 1.4 pounds of ground pork, and I added about 2 of these plastic spoons worth of dextrose in here. Now when they're making this McRib at the factory, it's going through the series of machinery that's, mixing things and finally forming that McRib shape. And then after the McRib shape has been formed, it goes into a blast freezer, gets flash frozen, so ice crystals will not form in the meat, which dries meat out. A way we can have the same results is by simply freezing meat that's been vacuum sealed in like a vacuum sealed bag. Those crystals won't form. I don't have a blast freezer. I don't think any of you do, or maybe some of you do, I don't know. But I am going to use a vacuum sealer and a couple other things I'm going to show you right now. First off, I have some plastic wrap laying on my cooking board here. I have 4 ounces of that meat I'm going to place in the center of the saran wrap, this plastic wrap. And I'm just going to form out a basic kind of a rectangular shape. I'm not done yet, just keep watching. Now I'm going to fold the saran wrap over. Trim some of the ends of the bag off. Set this aside while I introduce to you guys the one and literally only Ballistic Rib Press. I made this out of a wood, basically wood. I just made a wooden box. I measured an actual McRib patty, and then the lid has my rib things on here, the bones or whatever. So this will go in here. Well, let me show you. Now, I did a test run and I learned a lesson. I mean, this thing gets really formed in there. So to add ease in removing my McRib, I'm going to have a ribbon, just some ribbon. Place the McRib in here, fold the ribbons over that I can just yank it right on out. I'm not done yet, guys. Okay, so the press goes in. And then for the next step, we're going to vacuum seal this bad boy. All right, so I have a vacuum seal bag that I cut pretty long. Let's get this Ballistic McRib mold into the bag. And now we are ready to put this in one of my all-time favorite kitchen gadgets, my chamber vacuum. I can play with that thing for hours. Let's go ahead and vacuum seal this thing. All right, so I have the Vac Master all set up. Again, it is really cool. So what's going to happen is when I'm vacuum sealing this, it's also going to press down on this, on the little handle thing I have here, and it's going to make a very, very compressed pork patty. And I already did this last night. It's really cool. Voila. And here we go. So check that out. So this thing is vacuum sealed, as tight as a drum now. It's going to go into the freezer. And basically, tomorrow we will have a McRib patty. I'm going to cook up an authentic McRib for you guys out in the backyard. So I'll see you tomorrow. Here we are next morning, and it is done. Check it out. So I will tell you this, it took some work getting it out of the box. It took some patience. When I tested this mold out, I was still under the impression that McDonald's was using meat glue. And what I did was I formed a patty using meat, and it came out, I mean, because it was flexible. This thing, it's hard as a rock, and then of course, frozen foods, they kind of expand a little bit. So it took some work. The plastic is still on, so I need to take that off. And here we go. Now, the one thing I'm a little bit bummed about is the ribbon that I had in the box. They were folded over themselves to help me pull this out. Again, I anticipated with the frozen pork it was going to resist a little bit. And it actually did lower the contour of the ribs there. But all in all, I'm pretty darn happy with it. It looks pretty cool. I just have a little, just because I'm being picky, you can see right there some meat that kind of worked its way up, so I'll be removing that. Anyway, I will meet you guys outside, and we're going to cook up this McRib. So the first thing that McDonald's does is they sear the McRib patty. I have the ballistic griddle rocking. We're going to go ahead and sear this patty up, and it is still frozen. So again, the one bummer thing is that ribbon just coming right through here prevented those nice raised rib bones going all the way across. It'll still taste good, but I'm a little bit depressed about that. All right, this is done. Now the next thing I'm going to do is basically immerse this thing into a hot barbecue sauce marinade, which is what they do at McDonald's. I have here an induction burner, and I have it running right now at 150. I'm going to put this in there. Just fully immerse it in the sauce. Now I'm guessing that McDonald's probably runs this at a much lower temperature. to have these available throughout the day, kind of almost like a sous vide theory, I guess, just keeping it at eating temperature. I'm going to only let this sit here probably 15 minutes, and then we'll be making a sandwich. So I will see you guys in 15 minutes. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. I'm ready to make this sandwich. Now for the bread, I'm using the same exact roll that McDonald's uses. It's a very thin, kind of a hoagie roll, and it has, looks like cornmeal kind of sprinkled on top. I bought this from McDonald's, paid 30 cents for this. And I'm thinking that a good substitute would just be, you know, a nice hoagie roll. That's what I would use. So let's go ahead and get these toasted up. And there we go, nice toast. Now for the McRib patty. Looks like a McRib. So lay down this rib meat on top of the bun there. I'm saying rib meat. Next thing will be pretty finely shaved onion. And last but not least, dill pickle slices. And we'll top it. And there we have it, the McRib. And I'm telling you, this looks like a McRib, and it smells like a McRib. It's not quite as messy as the versions you'll get at your local drive-thru, but I think it was made with probably just a little bit more care. I had a little bit more time than they have over there. Let's try this out. So there's 3 groups of people that I think a video like this will appeal to, and I hope this one does. There's those of you who absolutely love the McRib. There's those of you who despise the McRib, and there's those of you who love the McRib but will never admit it to anyone. And I hope that this video appeals to all of you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it, whether you hate the McRib or love it. I had a lot of fun making this video from beginning to end. I mean, I'm out here making the stupid mold thing. In retrospect, I wish I wouldn't use the ribbon, but who would have known that it would have compressed those rib bones. The meat glue version I made was spot on, so I'm thinking I'm going to make some fun videos with meat glue. Let me know your thoughts on that down below, please. I'd love your feedback. Make sure you check out Harry Sue's video. Again, I'll have the link down below. Guys, keep those requests coming in. If you like this video, thumb it up. If you want to get notifications, please sub me and ring that bell. See you in the next video. Cheers.